Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I want to share something that I have started to do recently, which is keeping a dua journal. So what that means is I keep a journal of the duas that I'm making. If I have a prayer and it comes true, whether it's a really small thing or whether it's something a lot bigger, but if there is something that I've prayed for and it has come true, I write that down in my diary and I date it and I say, like what was the prayer, kind of how I asked for it sometimes as well, just so that it can take me back to what kind of headspace I was in, but also just to remind me what practices I was exercising. So basically what I do is I write that down and I date it. So for example, I might say, I want to wake up at a certain time the next day. I pray that, I wake up on time for X, Y, and Z, or I pray that this person that I'm talking to, that conversation goes well. I pray that, I can convince this person to do, to be on my side or agree with me. So little things, because obviously I'm not really doing a whole lot right now. We're not going out. There's not a lot that's going on in my life. But little things, whatever comes true, whatever prayer gets answered, whatever I see, I pray for this and it's come true, then I just write that down. So the reason I've started to do this and the reason I wanted to share it with you is because it kind of goes back to a topic I've touched on before, which is having reminders. So sometimes what happens is when we're praying, we might have doubts in terms of like, oh, will it get answered, or like we've been praying for a certain thing for an extended period of time and we're like, will it get answered? So the reason I started to keep this journal is just to keep a reminder of all the times that my prayers did get answered, and whether it be big or small. But I kind of keep a log of it because we want to have good reminders and want to have positive reinforcements in our lives, so that if you have moments where you're doubting or your faith's weak, or you might think, oh, I don't know if I can do this, or if this is gonna actually come true, or I don't even know if this prayer is gonna get answered, things like that. Like, it just kind of reinforces my faith and it helps me be more positive and to keep my faith strong and keep believing in the prayer. Like, also when you're praying or hoping or wishing for something to happen, right, you want your belief to be strong in that, so that you can believe that this is going to come true, and you can believe that if you work on it, then it will, you will get closer to your goals, or closer to your wishes, closer to your dreams. And so it really helps me kind of reflect back. Or sometimes what also happens is when you pray for little things and you forget that they came true, or you take them for granted. But with this practice, for me at least, it helps me highlight and really appreciate the times that my prayers have been answered. And so I think it's worthwhile, of course, to remember those positive times, but also just helps when the next time you're praying, just if you do have a little bit of doubt in your mind, it's like, okay, will this come true, you can think of the last time that you thought that way and kind of think back, okay, well, all of these dreams came true, or all of these prayers came true. And similarly, you can do this for other things as well. So if you thought something was really hard for you, or something that you thought you couldn't accomplish, or you were nervous about, and then you can say, okay, well, I thought this interview was going to be really difficult, but I got the job. Or I thought it would be really hard for me to learn how to skate, and I now know how to skate. Like, I did it, and I went and I tried it, and I survived that, right? And so I think it's valuable for us to have these things that have actually happened to us in our own lives, because it happens to everybody, right? You think that you can't accomplish something, and then you do. You think something won't happen, and then it does. You think something is too good to be true, and then it actually does end up happening. So I think it's really valuable to keep a log, or some sort of a way for you to remember those times, because life comes in waves, right? So sometimes something that you found hard, you overcome that challenge, and then the next challenge comes, and then you overcome that challenge, and the next challenge comes, and every challenge feels like it's gonna be hard, right? Every challenge feels challenging. So the point of this exercise is that it's there to be your pep talk. It's there to be your reminder that, hey, you did it last time. You were able to overcome that challenge last time, and this challenge is not going to be any different. And so you can overcome this too, and have faith and keep at it, and you'll be able to do it, right? And the same idea for my prayer log is that if I'm praying for something and I'm waiting and I'm being patient, sometimes that patience turns into a bit of doubt. It turns into, okay, well, is this even gonna happen? Or, you know, what is the best thing for me? And like, you know, or is anyone listening to this prayer? That kind of thing. And it's not ideal, of course, to have these thoughts, but they do happen. And that's okay, right? But how can we minimize the length of these thoughts or the frequency of these thoughts and these doubts? And so for me, writing is the thing. So I write my dua entries to say that, hey, you know what, all these times your prayers were answered, so be grateful for those, and have them as a reminder so that you can have faith today when you're praying, and not to get caught up in the doubts that do occur, because you have to be patient sometimes. Sometimes it does take time. Sometimes things take time to play out the way you're hoping for them to, or for them to play out in the way that is best for you. And so, like I said, doubts would happen. They're there, it's natural, it's human. You question things, you become skeptical, you go like, well, if it hasn't happened yet, it's just not gonna happen, right? And I think also the reason that this exercise is relevant and important is because these are examples from your life. And so it really helps you see, okay, well, yes, you can say, well, yes, this happened to me, and I remember feeling a certain way, and it's obviously relatable to you. Of course, hearing other people's stories has a similar effect, but the best thing, of course, is for you to draw from your own experiences, and for you to, because you know exactly how you were feeling in that moment, right? And if you're feeling a similar way, then you can say, well, you know, I know this feeling, and I know how I overcame it last time, and I know that I will overcome it this time, right? So belief in yourself, belief in your circumstances, and belief that things are going to work out the way they did for you before as well. So so those positive reminders, I've talked about reminders before, so this is just another way that I've started to keep a reminder for myself, to keep this positive reinforcement for myself. And I thought I would share it with you because I have, and it's also really exciting because you see your pages fill up, and you're just like, wow, like this is more than I thought. That, you know, like you don't notice it sometimes, but when you actually see it visually on paper or however you decide to do it, it's exciting, because then you realize that there's so many things to be grateful for, and so many things for you to that you don't even notice and you take for granted. So there was a day that you were hoping for these things, and now they're, you know, you're at a point where you actually have them. So, you know, keep believing, keep your faith strong, and keep at it, and hopefully this helps you the way it's helped me with my own positivity and fighting my own doubts when they do happen. And if you do try it out, let me know how it works out for you. So thank you so much for watching. That's all I have for today. I hope you found this video helpful. If you think this could help someone else out as well, please remember to share the video as well. Until next time, take care of yourself and of this world. Khuda Hafiz.